Kia listeners, let's learn sumo. I'm Clayton. Welcome to the podcast live from Furano in northern Hokkaido tonight in Japan. Don't forget, join me on X, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, where you can listen to the older episodes. You can learn about the intricacies of sumo and expand your knowledge. I've got a whole heap of new content coming your way in the next few months. Plenty of videos. Think of me editing. Lots to talk about. But let's get to the Aki Basho, a fantastic night of sumo on day 14. Do you want to know the result? Okay, was it really in any doubt whatsoever? Onosato faced Hoshoryu. Situation was that Kirishima, Wakatakakage, and Nishikigi all won their matches on day 14, leaving them on 11 wins in the chasing pack. Onosato on 12 wins coming into day 14. He needed to win tonight to make the Yusho Championship his for the Aki Basho. A win tonight on or to day 15 would make it mathematically impossible to be caught. Coming into the last few days, however, Orosato was to face the rest of the upper Senyaku, Kodazakura and Hoshoryu being his biggest tests. Day 13, he faced Kodazakura, big touchy eye as Orosato wanted to assert his blasting dominance. Kodazakura, he got a good body grip, tries to turn Onosato over, but he can't make it work. Onosato recovers, turns Kodo around as they go back to the bales. They're both back on the Tawara as Kodazakura had his right foot in the Tawara as Onosato is delaying his jump. Onosato appeared Shinatai, dead body, as Kodazakura is trying to delay his going out. In the end, they both go out together. Gyoji points the Gunbai Kodazakura's way. The judges, they call a mono-e, a discussion. The judges have a look at it and say that Kodazakura's foot touched at the same time as Onosato went out. There's a suggestion later on that Onosato's hand may have touched down just as Kodazakura was going out, but it appears the Shimpans didn't notice or didn't believe there was enough evidence to rule it Kodazakura's way. So in the end, they said it was a Toranaoshi rematch. And what a rematch. Onosato, he just dominantly drove Kodazakura back and over the bales. Kodazakura, he just had no defense. He appeared gassed after that first bout. So, day 14, Onosato up against Ozeki Hoshoryu. Hoshoryu cleaned up Kirishima with one of his throws on day 13. More on that later. And he had to throw Onosato. He had thrown Onosato previously and quite dramatically in the previous Yusho. How would Onosato handle the strong Ozeki this time? Well, he just blasted him from the touchy eye. Massive Noto neck thrust. Both hands off the touchy eye up on Hoshoryu's neck. A second thrust to the neck and chest. Hoshoryu had absolutely no defense. And the Yusho race goes to Onosato. It's his 34th win in 3 tournaments, effectively sealing his promotion to Ozeki as if there was any doubt after his 33rd win last night. An incredibly dominant performance by a likely new Ozeki, Onosato. For Hoshoryu, he has to fight for Kachikoshi tomorrow at 7 and 7. Let's have a look at the rest of the battles from day 12, 13, and 14. Day 12, Onosato faced Wakataka Kage and fought what I think will make my top 3 fights of the year quite easily. Onosato, he blasted Wakataka Kage back to the bales. Wakataka Kage recovered, moved laterally quite well, got a double rear belt grip as he pushed Onosato back. Onosato swung him around and he tries to push him down Hataki Komi. Wakataka Kage, he came back up and he is under pressure at the bales, got a double belt grip at the rear and is somehow able to turn Onosato around and Yorakiri him out, frontal force out at the very last moment. Incredible match to watch. You need to find that replay. That closed the race for Onosato before he faced Kodazakura for that match on day 13. Kodazakura, he faced Kirishima on day 12. They both went for a grip at the touchy eye. Kodazakura used the belt grip to move Kirishima back to the bales under serious pressure. Kirishima, he almost gets turned over, but he recovers, gets his balance back. They return to the center. Kirishima moves, but Kodazakura used a belt grip to turn Kirishima around. It's not enough. Kirishima got a better turn and a Watanage as Kodazakura slowly went over the bales as they fought each other for that position. Kirishima was still in the race at this point. Day 14, Kotazakura had him against RB. A very rare occurrence tonight. As you'll notice if you saw that fight, the Gyoji had his wooden fan, the gunbai. It signifies various things historically, but effectively and usually the gunbai is pointed to the side as part of the preparation for the match. This is particularly the case when two wrestlers have yet to face each other. They have some extra uh, things to go through before they start the match. Tonight, however, both Abi and Kotazakura got into their position on the tachiai and both decided that that was the point they wanted to start the tachiai. Apparently, this is acceptable as they have mutual consent to commence the match. The gunbai quite normally would be facing the wrestlers to signify the beginning, but not in this case. And apparently it's quite acceptable as they both consented to commence. Strange, but another quirk of sumo. Anyway, Kotazakura chased Abi around the dojo using his excellent mobile balance and movement and forced Abi out quite easily. Ozeki Hoshoryu day 12, he faced Sekiwake Abi. A dirty hanker by Abi was the result, with Hoshoryu flying through two committed face plants on the other side. Look, I think hankers are a tactical move. They're quite within the rules, but I thought this one would result in it certainly won't result in Abi winning a sportsmanship award. And on the hanker, JSA chairman Hakaku had the bit of temerity to criticise Kirishima for pulling a hanker the other night, which failed on Osato. I thought it was a bit rich because he hasn't tried to ban the hanker as the chairman of the JSA, and it's within the rules. And I certainly haven't heard him criticise any of the other wrestlers for pulling the hanker. I certainly think Hakaku needs to reset himself. To be frank, certainly after his comments after the Kotazakura and Tobizaru match of earlier this tournament. Anyway, moving on, Hoshoryu, he faced Kirishima on day 13, delivered a big Nodowa thrust to Kirishima's neck. Kirishima got a good outside right belt grip, but for some reason he decided to try and change to an inside grip. All this did was stand himself up, give Hoshoryu a chance to deny the grip and catch Kirishima in a changing balance position. He used a leg to lift Kirishima's leg, twisted and pulled Kirishima back at the same time. Body slam being the result for Kirishima. Kiri Kaeshi is the Kimarite, a twisting backwards knee trip. That's a new and unusual one for everybody. Kiri Kaeshi. Wakataka Kage at Megashira 7 on day 13. He easily dealt with Oshoma with a strong tachiai, followed by a disengaged Hikiatoshi arm pull down. But day 14 was not so simple for Wakataka Kage. He faced a fired up Daisho. Of course, he was going to face a threshing battle from the Komusubi Daisho. He kept it going in hard, but Wakataka Kage seemed to try to crowd Daisho by getting in close, using his elbows to force the thrusts above the line of his shoulders and stop the threshing. Furious bout, Daisho tries to Hataki Komi Wakataka Kage a few times. Wakataka Kage gets inside at the last moment, drives Daisho over the bales backwards onto his back. Wakataka Kage must have taken a few hits because he came up bleeding from the mouth as well. His last moment moves by Wakataka Kage, they are seemingly stock in trade for our former Sekiwake. He wants back to that rank and he's likely to get it if he stays healthy. That left him chasing at 11 wins as well. Nishikigi on day 12 faced Komusubi Threshing Machine Daisho as well. Some excellent hit and shifts, and Sapari had Nishikigi under pressure and back over the bales, and a fairly easy win for Daisho there. Bit of a blip for Nishikigi in his race to stay in what could have been. Hiradumi, he tried his best with a big touchy eye, but Nishikigi got up under his armpits, pulls him forward and slapped him down Hataki Komi. Oho proved as easy for Nishikigi as he just drove hard at the touchy eye, forced Oho back and over. That left him on 11 wins. But obviously for Kirishima, Wakataka Kage and Nishikigi, it was all for naught as Onosato put it out of reach tonight. A great Yusho for all four of those wrestlers. It's excellent to see Kirishima and Nishikigi wrestling in ways we know they are capable of. As for a few unusual Kimarite so far, tonight Tobizaru pulled off a Soku Biotoshi, otherwise known as a head chop down, where you get a hand on the back of your opponent's neck and force it down. Haven't seen that one recently. So I'll cover more in the end of the Basho review. One last thing to finish on is the announcement by our former Ozeki Takakeisho of his retirement due to ongoing neck injuries. Look, a stellar record for Yusho Championships. Ozeki for 30 tournaments, 30 bashos, 50 bashos as a Sekitori or paid wrestler in Juryo or Makuchi, 4 lower division Yushos, 7 special prizes, 3 Kinboshi wins over Yokozuna. The Battle Hamster, he adopts the name of Minato Gawa as an Oyakata or coach in a stable. A fine career. Look, even though he was a bit divisive as a wrestler, I think those statistics add up to an excellent Rikishi who did his best. He's about the same age as Midori Fuji, so it's a bit of a shame to see him go so young. He did say in his interview today that he had dreams of being a Yokozuna from a very young age. Shame he couldn't achieve it, but he has achieved so much more. So that's it for today, listeners. Join me again for a special episode review, maybe outside the Kokugikan after the Basho is entered. Join me then. Hakio listeners, let's learn sumo.